The first step to successfully investing in Detroit is understand the landscape. Specifically, Detroit's breadth and depth is like any other market I've ever seen. The city is massive at nearly 150 square miles. To put that in perspective, San Francisco, Boston, and Manhattan could all fit within the footprint of Detroit with room to spare. And while visualizing Detroit's size like this is helpful in grasping just how big the city is, it doesn't offer much help in analyzing it. When you pull up Zillow to start looking at listings and are met with a sea of red dots, it can be extremely intimidating. Then you realize those red dots are only 500 of the total 2,813 properties for sale in the city of Detroit today. At this point, people tend to do one of two things. They freak out, succumb to analysis paralysis, and never end up investing in the city of Detroit, or they filter by price, starting to work their way up and looking for something that looks decent. While I understand both of these reactions, neither of them are good. The first is pretty harmless. You waste some time and you move on with life. But the other approach can be detrimental. Buying the cheapest, reasonable looking thing you can find is a great way to end up in the D-class or undesirable area. The good news is I'm going to help you avoid feeling overwhelmed by showing you exactly how to filter through the city and find investable areas. As a result, you'll avoid D-class areas and set yourself up for success. By the end of this video series, you'll have a fantastic understanding of the Detroit market and be able to confidently hunt deals. Better yet, you'll be a pro at running the numbers to determine whether or not you should pursue a potential deal any further. And it all starts with understanding the landscape of Detroit. If there's one question I get more than any other about the Detroit market, it's what neighborhoods or zip codes should I invest in? It's an insanely loaded question due to Detroit's block-by-block nature. And if you've done any even rudimentary or early research into Detroit, you've probably heard people say that the city is very block by block. If you've spoken with me personally, I've said the same thing. And I think it's easy to say, it's easy to hear and nod along and say, okay, yeah, I get it, it's block by block, I need to pay attention. But it's a completely different thing to experience in person, to see and understand really how quickly these blocks and areas can change. Let me show you what I mean. Here I have us standing at the intersection of LaSalle Boulevard running north and south, and the Davison Freeway running east to west. It's an area I know very well because I used to live up north in Troy, and I'd come down through I-75 here and dump off onto the Davison Freeway. I'd go to visit a couple of my duplexes over here in Russell Woods. Now, it's an interesting area, and I'll do another video about the Dexter-Linwood neighborhood later on. But what you need to understand is while this area can be hit and miss, like all parts of Detroit, it is close to some strong pockets. Oakman Boulevard, which is a historically significant street with great, beautiful homes. You have Russell Woods over here, which is an area I've been invested in, and again, is historical and has big, beautiful homes and lawns and a little bit of multifamily housing stock as well. Then you have Boston Edison, another historical, strong, famous area with even larger mansion-type homes. So if you're talking to a wholesaler or a realtor that doesn't really know what they're doing or is trying to intentionally mislead you, they might throw out these buzzwords because you've likely heard of them and say, hey, I have a great duplex down here in Dexter-Linwood, and it's close to Oakman Boulevard, Russell Woods, Boston Edison. And while it may seem close to the uninformed, it's really not close at all. And by Detroit standards, you might as well be on Mars. So what I want to do now is I want to take you through this street and just talk about what's happening as we push through and see how quickly things can change. So we're standing here again, and we're going to head south down LaSalle Boulevard, and you'll see there's some multifamily homes that still need to be renovated. You'll also see larger multifamily properties that are clearly well taken care of and in good shape and occupied. The lawns are well manicured, so nothing to worry about there. It seems like a pretty decent area. And in fact, if you were looking at potentially purchasing a duplex here, this might not be bad, right? But as we work our way down, we can see that things do start to change pretty drastically in a short period of time. Now we're still seeing nice multifamily stuff. As we push down here further, things start to deteriorate a little bit. This building in particular, you'll notice is boarded up. Not a huge deal, but something to start paying attention to. If you zoom in here, you notice that half of the back roof is gone. I've been in this building personally. It is likely going to have to be torn down. It's probably not salvageable at this point. And if we keep coming down here, you'll see another large multifamily building. This one was in the process of being rehabbed when I was still living in Detroit back in 2019. And I know it was recently listed. They currently had it gutted and they were trying to do new windows. And it seemed like they were over improving it for the area. You'll see that street view changed. It got sunny all of a sudden. It changed to 2022. So this is a little bit dated, but I'm certain this block is still in this condition. Now, all of a sudden we turn the corner and you see this building has been recently raised. And you'll notice how the look and feel of this area just drastically changed. Most of these multifamilies are vacant, overgrown with vegetation, Many of them are missing the brick on the side of the building. And you might be wondering why, but years and years ago, looters, drug addicts, etc., would chisel these bricks out and resell them to brickyards for pennies on the dollar and make a few bucks. And that's what happened, unfortunately, through this whole block. You'll see a lot of vacant land as we rotate through here. There's a trailer here with a guy that was living out of it last time I was in town. This duplex was occupied, but from what I could tell, someone had passed away and left it to their family members, and it was very clear that they were most likely running drugs out of that home at the time. And this was a few years ago. And as you push down here, you'll see more and more of these big, beautiful quads that were just left for dead, unfortunately. And these can be salvaged. This one still has its brick. Even the ones without the brick can be salvaged. They're owned by the Detroit Land Bank. And hopefully someday somebody is going to fix these up, or the city is going to bulldoze these. But you'll see this one right here is a very clear shot of what we're looking at. Bricks missing, the house is ravaged inside, and a lot of these are beyond repair. So I really want to stress again how quickly we went from, okay, this seems investable, to, gosh, all of a sudden this feels like a dangerous kind of area, or at a minimum, an area that nobody would want to rent in. You have to look at a duplex like this one, which is clearly occupied and somewhat well-maintained, and consider, what kind of tenant would I be attracting on a block like this? And the answer is probably not one you want. So while those areas of Russell Woods, Oakland Boulevard, and Boston Edison seem close, they really aren't. And you have to be careful about simply taking a zip code and buying anything in that zip code because you heard it was strong or is up and coming or is hot, etc. You really need to have a more nuanced understanding and approach to analyzing the Detroit market than simply taking a zip code or even a neighborhood. And that's exactly what I'm going to be teaching you. So like, subscribe, do all those things, and get the alerts when I post new videos. And I'll see you soon.